Good afternoon, my dear students. Today we shall take our new lesson. The theme of the lesson, out and about in London, also radio advertisements. As you know, London stands on the River Thames. London, the capital of Great Britain, is a very old city. It's 2000 years old. Many years ago, London was a small town on the Thames. Now London is a big port and a beautiful city with large squares and parks. About 8 million people live here. London is one of the biggest cities in the world. The Thames is not a long river. The English people call it the father of London. London began on the Thames, and now we start our tour from Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is the only Thames bridge which can be raised. If you want to see London, the best place to go is the Eye. London Eye is a big wheel on the River Thames. The Eye is very popular. Every day 106,000 people go to the Eye. There are 33 capsules and one ride takes 30 minutes. The Eye is very tall, 133 meters. At the top of the Eye, you get a great view of London. You can see Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is the London home of the kings and the queens of Great Britain. Now, the Queen Elizabeth lives here. When the flag is flying on the top, she is at home. Buckingham Palace has 600 rooms, a swimming pool, a cinema, a ballroom, and a garden. In summer, Queen gives 3 garden parties for about 9,000 guests. The ceremony of the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace is a great tourist attraction. It takes place every day at 11:30 a.m. and lasts half an hour. To the sounds of music, the guardsmen in their traditional suits arrive and give the palace keys to another group. On the right side of the Thames, you can see the Tower of London. The Tower of London is a very old building. It's 900 years old. In the early days of the history of England, the English kings lived here. Then it was a prison where many people died. Black ravens had much food near the walls of the tower in those years. Black ravens live outside of tower now. The English people like them very much. Now he was given the Buckingham Palace, the picture of the Buckingham Palace. This is the Thames River. The Thames River. And this is the Tower Bridge, as you see. A man looks after ravens, gives them food in the morning and in the evening. The ravens have names. The legend says that without them the tower will fall. The Tower of London is a museum now. In the museum you can see many old guns. At 10 o'clock every evening, the guards lock the big door of the tower for the night. And now you are making our way to the House of Parliament. The famous clock Big Ben stands near the House of Parliament. The country's leaders speak in the House of Parliament. The men and the women there are the voice of British people. You can see Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament from Westminster Bridge. Tourists in London always want to see Westminster and see Big Ben. They want to see the clock in its tower and to hear the bells. Big Ben is really a bell. It's a big bell. The big bell weighs 13 tons. The man who built Big Ben was very tall and reckless, and his friends called him Big Ben. So the English people call it the Big Ben too. We are coming to the Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey is a historic building. It's a symbol of England. The coronation of British kings and the queens takes place in Westminster Abbey. Some famous English people are also buried here. Westminster Abbey is a very beautiful building. You can see Trafalgar Square. It's a famous square in the center of London. In the middle of it, a monument to Admiral Nelson is situated. The monument includes 4 bronze lions. To the left, you can see the National Gallery. It has a fine collection of European paintings. Go for a walk to St. James Park or to Hyde Park. Hyde Park is a very famous park in London. Londoners can walk and run in the park, eat their sandwiches, talk, sunbath, read books, and enjoy music. There are no like, don't walk on the grass. In the park, anyone can stand up and say what they want. It's a very democratic park. My dear students, our London sightseeing tour is over. I hope you like it. Now here was given the information about tour of London. Осы сілтеме бойынша, тақырып бойынша аудиоматериалды бассаңыздар, тыңдай аласыздар. Now, what is radio advertising? What is it, radio advertising? Radio advertising is buying commercial to promote products or services. Advertisers pay commercial radio stations for airtime and in exchange, the radio station broadcasts the advertiser's commercial to its listening audience. As a business owner, how can you take advantage of radio advertising? How do you get your target audience to hear your radio? Add message and follow a certain call to action. In the radio advertising, there are numerous types of commercials that an advertiser can choose, similar to how brands might pursue different print advertising options. Newspapers, fees, magazines, for example, or online advertising options, email, social media. Let's make a look at a few of the more popular types of radio advertisements. What is the different types of radio advertising? There are various types of radio advertising that you can choose from. By identifying and explaining the various types, you are able to judge which would suit your specific advertising company's needs best. Straight ahead. This type of radio advertisement usually focuses on the advantages of the brand that is advertising important information such as how listeners can get in touch with you, address or email or phone details that is generally in a monologue format. Now here was given task matching the words. Here was given the places of interest in London. The first is Buckingham, Trafalgar, Westminster, Big, the Tower of and the House of Tower, London, Bridge, the river. You had to match with the second site. I think it's understand for you. Now the next here was given the practice. Finish the sentence. The Big Ben is a palace, a bell, or square. Now please match here. The second is the Queen lives in the Tower of London. Buckingham Palace, Windsor Palace. The Bloody Tower. You can see a statue of Admiral. London starts on the river. The man who built Big Ben was very... when the is flying on the top of the Buckingham Palace, the Queen is at home. He was given 3 answers. You had to check once more. Was previously a prison. The next is a symbol of the Tower of London. What is it? And the dance without ravens of Tower will what? The Tower of London is a what now? Shop, museum or restaurants. Take place in Westminster Abbey. Trafalgar Square is a famous square in the monuments of Admiral Nelson includes 4 bronze. Hyde Park is a famous in London. Londoners can go in Hyde Park because it's a democratic park. You have to choose one suitable answer. Now students, let's give you a home task. You are, let's imagine you are a tourist. Instructions. Prepare some questions to ask your tour guide. Ask lots of questions because you want to practice your English. Here was given the beginning of the questions. Tower of London. Will we visit? Is there? What time? Where can I buy? Which famous people live in? And you had to write it in a written form and to make a situation. Now goodbye my dear student. I think you understand me. Goodbye.